What's up, my good man?
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Shane?
Very good, thank you.
All right, wonderful. Right on time. Nice.
Punctual.
So listen, man. When we do, so we'll get right into the podcast. All my other podcasts have like these introductions, but I do that separately. So we kind of just get into things, and then after the podcast, once it's said and done, I'll go back and then I'll make an edit, and I'll have like a huge introduction for you, telling everyone what you do, what your background is, and then I piece it together. So that's how that works.
So I'm gonna put on some headphones 1 second.
Cool. How's the volume sounding? We sounding good?
Everything sounds good with me.
All right. You ever done a podcast before?
Have I done a podcast before?
Yeah.
Many.
Oh, okay, good. That's cool. How come you don't have a podcast?
I have had a couple, and I'm actually in the works of starting a new one.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just give me 1 second. Just getting a few more things set up, and I'll let you know before I push record, and we'll just get into it.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, man. And the way you say your name is just how it looks. Shane Hartline. Nothing special. Just. All right. I'm about to push record.
Okay.
If you smell what the Shane Hartline is cooking. What's up, man? Thanks for popping by, Shane.
That was quite the introduction. Do you have permission to use that catchphrase?
That's a good point. No, so this show is ending quicker than it started.
It's okay. Give me another off the top of your head intro. Just what do you got?
Dun 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 dun.
That's also copyrighted. Okay, this is off to a very bad start.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's not my show that's gonna get sued, so it's okay.
How about a little help? You got anything for me?
How about something? I'm just riffing here, man. But he's the best actor in the world. He's the funniest comedian in the world. I don't know.
Whoa. Oh, okay. The best actor in the entire world, the most funny comedian you've ever heard, Mr. Shane Hartline.
You see, that's how you do it, and that way you know that you won't be sued. And everybody listening at home, these are things that Jay has told me in private, so these aren't things that I'm forcing him to say.
You're not gonna sue me, right?
I'm not gonna sue you.
Okay.
These are facts.
Spin facts. Shane, for starters, man, comedians are my favorite people. I mean, we can bullshit. Most of you guys think outside the box. You can take jokes, you can dish them out. I feel like I'm usually more comfortable, like being around you guys. I can be myself, but I run with a bunch of sick, funny people who I call my friends. And everyone's probably confused as fuck to why the introduction did start off with wrestling, but you used to be a professional wrestler.
Yes, I was a wrestler for a very, very hot second, and then I found out quickly. As choreographed and as staged as it's still very physical. I found out very quickly. I just like the theatrics and the storytelling, and I always, in the back of my head, I told myself, I'm only doing wrestling to become an actor.
Ah.
Now that can happen. That is obviously clearly a route, but it is a tough route to do that. And this little thing called YouTube popped up, and that's what really took my focus. And then everything kind of snowballed from there. Got my first agents, started auditioning, and the rest is history.
Well, you still kind of incorporate wrestling into some of your bits. I was looking at your page and you had Jason power slam you. Man, that's got to be brutal. I mean, that was what was that on? Lollipops, like Dum Dums, I think.
For a second I was like, Jason. I
Oh, the
forgot.
killer.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. So yeah, that was in a comedy show I did, and yeah, he. It was a Halloween comedy show, and I had this what I call the Halloween trick or treat death match, and
Ooh.
he poured dum dums on the stage, and he body slammed me onto it. And,
Dude, what the
I
fuck?
always like to incorporate like wrestling into my comedy shows as much as I possibly can. Now, you can't do body slams at every comedy theater, but
True.
I try.
How did that feel on your body, man? Just watching that, I was like, good lord, man. I mean, that's some serious. Like, you got to be like a stuntman to do stuff like that.
Well, with wrestlers, you kind of with wrestling, when you're doing it regularly, your body gets kind of used to it. Now I'm not doing it as regularly as I used to. But you do learn how to. Part of wrestling is it's like basically like stunt training. You start to learn how to take the impact. You learn how to fall somewhat safer. What was I gonna say? But yeah. So I mean it's funny, the fall, like my back felt fine, but for some reason I led with my elbow a little bit, and my elbow took a brunt of the impact.
Oh man.
So
arms just stopped working.
Yeah, my elbow still actually. That was in October, and my elbow, something must have happened because I still have issues.
Yeah, man, there was no give on that stage. I mean, that's why wrestlers are like so prone and addicted to painkillers and steroids. You know what I mean? Like that goes hand in hand because it's so much force on your body. But at least you're out of that for momentarily. Maybe you'll have a route back. Who knows, right?
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
Did you watch a lot of wrestling growing up?
Oh yeah, I still do.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that stick in my head whenever I think about wrestling is, and let's see if you know what I'm talking about, there was a Royal Rumble, and I believe it was John Cena and maybe Batista, but they both fell out of the ring at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And then Vince McMahon came out and he ran into the ring and he dove in there and like he tore both of his quads. Yeah. He just has to sit in the ring.
Pretty entertaining.
Yeah, man. So, how did we transition from your wrestling days into comedy acting? Because you already mentioned that you liked it for the theatrics, but what was the start for comedy and acting?
Yeah, so I started making content like it might sound silly because I'm a kid of the 90s, but I started making content when I was 10, and the cameras were very different back then, obviously, but like I would shoot comedy sketches, I would just recreate, things I had seen in television and film, but it never left my house. It would just be like, anybody that came over to my parents' house, I'd force them to sit through these videos and watch things, but like I said, when I was wrestling, YouTube started, and when I discovered YouTube, it just blew my mind, because before YouTube, like you could put videos online, but it was just so difficult for people to consume them.
Real quick, what year were you born? Because I'm trying to think if we're around the same age.
1986.
Okay, I'm 88, so it was around,
okay, Cool.
Okay, I know, so I know what you're talking about. Yep.
When YouTube started, it to the ease of which you could post videos and people consume them just blew my mind, and I immediately jumped on YouTube and started doing what I had already been doing.
Nice.
Comedy sketches. And I was one of the first people that was really doing, I mean, there were a couple other people, but one of the very few that were doing comedy sketches and jackass type stuff on YouTube. And
right.
And from that, I started getting interest in like TV shows wanting to use our clips. There was even like Carson Daly was even trying to do some kind of America's Funniest Home Videos type TV show, and we were attached to that TV show, and dude, I didn't know what was happening, but I knew that, oh, this YouTube stuff could be a gateway for me into the business.
Yes.
So from YouTube, I got my first theatrical agent, and I was able to audition, and I started booking commercials.
Whoa.
Little things here and there.
Through YouTube?
Well, no. So through YouTube, I got an agent. An agent discovered me off of YouTube.
So just by watching your clips, because you were putting out content, and he just stumbled across what you were putting out, contacted you? Wow. Wow.
And then from there, with an agent, you get auditions, and so I got my first agent in like 2007, 2008. And then in 2011, I booked the feature film Rock of Ages. And that kind of, in a small way, but in a big way, changed my life, because I suddenly had all this money that I had never, ever had before. And I was like, well, I can either stay in Florida and waste it. I mean, not waste it, but you know what I mean. Or I could take it and I could do what I've always wanted to do and give the Los Angeles thing a shot.